And welcome back to Attorneys on Call. There is a new drug called Abilify and some interesting information about that drug and how it could be serious to your health. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, as we mentioned, 5 things you need to know about hiring an attorney for worker compensation.
That's right, Drew. And I'm going to go through these quicker than I did in the prior 5 things, and certainly email us or call us for further detail, because it is an important thing that we do want to hear about the Abilify drug that I want Whitney to tell folks about. So the 5 things that I think are important with workers' comp cases, one of the same experience, but let me go further, making sure that your law firm has a board-certified workers' comp attorney working at that firm. I think that is extremely important if you have a workers' compensation case. So communication, same as the other. Does that law firm have ability for you to text them, email them, and call them? Because in a workers' comp case, you've got checks that you're waiting on every week. If you've got an accepted case, those checks could fall off the payroll. You've got to be able to talk to people. You know, I find that communication is even more intense in workers' comp cases as it even is in auto cases. So you've got to have a firm that's willing to give you every tool in the tool chest to communicate. The other thing is, does the lawyer know about the Industrial Commission rules and forms? Workers' compensation is a completely different animal than any other injury case because you're dealing in a whole separate court system that's handling it, called the Industrial Commission. If you ask your lawyer, do you know what the Industrial Commission is, and that lawyer says no, then you need to run away from that situation with workers' comp cases. I always want to also say is, does the lawyer that you choose in your workers' compensation case is number 4, do they have an exit strategy for you? You know, has that lawyer talked about how it ends? Okay, some workers' comp cases settle on a clincher agreement. Some cases are paid out on that little disability rating that you're given. Does that lawyer have a big strategy for you at the end of the case, not just at the beginning? And I would ask that question. Also, the 5th is, does the lawyer know about the hidden recovery available in workers' comp? Has the lawyer asked you about mileage, the week that you've been out, that you have been waiting on your check? Has his lawyer asked those kinds of questions to look for the hidden claims within your workers' comp claims? So those are the 5. Some are the same, some are a little bit different, but I would encourage folks to give us a call if they've got a situation and they want more information. But I do want to hear about what's going on with Abilify. So,
you know, Drew, we've talked before about Risperdal. It's an antipsychotic medication that can cause gynecomastia, or, you know, breast growth in men. What we're talking about today and most recently is a drug called Abilify. It's manufactured by Bristol Squibb Meyer, and it's been on the market for years, but only recently the FDA required the company to update the warning label to warn about compulsive gambling and compulsive behaviors. So Abilify is used to treat bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and major depression, right? What happens in people who don't experience this compulsion before they start taking the drug, they start taking Abilify and almost immediately begin these compulsive behaviors that include gambling and hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt.
Oh, man.
And so then you can sort of show that it was linked to the Abilify because there was no gambling debt beforehand. There was no compulsive behaviors that were occurring beforehand, noted in their medical records, for example. You start taking the medication, and then you start to incur a lot of debt because this gambling compulsion gets out of control. Then you stop taking the medication, and the compulsion subsides. So the cases have been consolidated in a multi-district litigation, or an MDL. We've talked about that a lot before. It's not a class action. It's individual lawsuits filed in federal court in northern Florida. And so they've been filed there for about 1.5 years. Things are moving along, but we're really interested in talking with anyone who may have taken Abilify and then started gambling, you know, excessively and incurred a lot of debt. And in the worst cases, folks may have had to file for bankruptcy. It could have affected, you know, their homes, their livelihood, you know, really their ability to make money. And so that, you know, that's the new thing that we're looking into, and interested to talk with anyone further about it.
So when did the FDA make this ruling that you were talking about recently?
So that was back in, I believe, in the spring of 2016.
Okay.
And The compulsive behaviors, there are others, but gambling is what was reported to the FDA,
okay. I see.
A lot more prevalently. So
Okay.
the drug was approved and on the market, and so then there's post-market surveillance, or there's post-market reporting. So if someone takes a medication and has an adverse reaction to it, then they can file a report with the FDA saying, hey, this wasn't warned about, I didn't know about it, but it happened to me. The FDA gets enough of those reports, they think, this isn't just an outlier, there may be something here. So then they could require, like in this case, they can require the pharmaceutical company to update the labeling to warn about this, unintended consequence or side effect, because they've gotten so many reports about it. And so that's the compulsive gambling.
We got about 30 seconds left.
Give us a call. That first call is free. You can call right now. Operators are standing by, and we will get back to you first business day.
Also, go to the website, which is
Go to the website.
whitleylawfirm.com.
Down on the bottom of the screen, there's a chat. You can pose your question there, or get a lot of information about what we've talked about today.
And an attorney will be calling you back, right?
An attorney, one of us, will be calling you back.
All right. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Attorneys on Call. Once again, as Ben said, at any time, the operators are standing by, the 800 number, or go to whitleylawfirm.com. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.